and good evening to you all. This is Samson here, the A+Oic series. I trust we are all doing well, right? Yes, you remember at the beginning of the term, I told you we were having a mixture and a blend, right? We were able to at least achieve something of that sort. Okay, looking at how muddy and rough the term was, but I was very confident that through it, thick and thin, we were able to achieve our aim and then our objective. So today, since we have our exams next week, I'm recording this session for our revision, just in case you find that maybe ready to go through. Maybe you found something very difficult to understand during class sessions. I think this is going to be a resource that is going to help you a lot. So please stay with me, stay tuned, stay focused. Okay, if there is anything you do not understand as well, you kindly leave it in the comment section, or I'm going to drop this particular new note again on the A+Oic where I dropped the note. So you go there, you can give me your feedback. But remember that we are to do our learning, our revisions before next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, till vacation. So it is a good time, having you here with me. So I think we'll get started with this. So this term, we realized we were doing scratch programming. And I know this is something new to most of you. Yes, this is something new to most of you. You haven't come across this at all. But with so doing, I believe that even though, we may think it is going to be that difficult, muddy and rough, unattainable, unachievable, but there is always a reason for a course, right? There is always a reason for a course. In every rule there is an exception. Yes, to every rule there is an exception. Everything is what is possible. But I think if I should assess our term from the beginning to this particular point, I'm going to rate each and every one of the classes from grade 3 to grade 6. I'm going to maybe give a rate of 7.5 out of 10, because I realized when we were starting out, most of you seems to be confused, as if you were drowning in the middle of the waters. But from week 8, 9, 10, I realized there was that much of interest. You being able to tell the types of vlogs and all of the blog categories, being able to even identify that this particular blog belongs to this particular blog category, being able to know this is the sound, this is look, this is motion, this is event, knowing when to start with an event, and that was impressive. So I'm going to say kudos to you all, for that particular impressive work. I've always believed that there is no student that were dumb, right? Sometimes, even in the multitude of so many numbers, you've been able to do something impressive, and I'm going to say congratulations to you all. Yes, sometimes I may come to chastise you that you guys are not really doing well, but sometimes don't take it too hard. But in reality, I am just demanding or requesting something very higher, or my expectations are really higher from you. And for now, I can confidently say, at least if I'm being asked to pick about some students to represent me in scratch, that is it. No two ways about this. But enough of the talking. Let's come back to class and for our lesson, and let's see what best that we can do. So remember, I gave each one of you this particular same note, right? I gave each one of you this same note, right? Introduction to Scratch. this is what each one of you is supposed to know, right? The scratch is what is the fundamentals of programming. We have to not skip it, because if you don't know this particular fundamentals or the foundations, it becomes difficult. You may tell me you've done scratch for a very long time, right? But sometimes the foundations, maybe you say, oh, maybe I was doing scratch when I was 7, when I was 10, when I was 11, when I was 5, when I was 4. But sometimes I assess some of you and I realize that there are some kind of gaps within your studies. Maybe whoever introduced you to the subject had a different template or guidelines to give to you. But taking you as a student in my class and then trying to understand and auditing my students, I realized we had to start somewhere. I was even thinking whether we were going to be able to catch up with whatever that we were supposed to do. But to God be the glory, we were able to meet up and even do much more than I was thinking. Because working with a lot of students, you have to also check up the acceleration, right? To know how best, how fast, how enthusiastic the students are and how they are consuming the content. But you guys never disappointed me, so I say congratulations once again to you. I'm really, really proud of you, and I know we have extra more to achieve, extra more to attain, and much more to come. So stay with me in this particular learning session, and then let's dive into this. All right, so I asked in class, what is Scratch? Okay, so remember I told you that Scratch is a free visual block-based programming language developed by MIT. In class I told you MIT is Massachusetts, right? Massachusetts Institute of Technology, right? You remember that? That is a university in the UK. Okay, I think in some time to let me say it was one of the, and it is one of the best universities or IT, or let me say community universities in the world, right? When it comes to research, when it comes to academia, MIT is one of the best, right? So the MIT Media Lab, so it's designed specifically for children like you and for beginners to learn programming concept through creating interactive stories, games, and animations. So you remember that I told you we'll be creating some interactive stories, some games and animations, and we were able to do some few of them. But because we just started with everything, I'm very hopeful that if next time we should continue, we'll be able to achieve. But I think there is one class, that is grade 5B, that I would say we tried the animation, we tried the interactive stories. Okay, so it will not be all of us, but at least we were able to at least try some of them. Okay, so instead of typing code like this, so look at this. Instead of typing code, look at this particular programming here. This one, we are going to type something like this, right? Like that. You don't even know what I am doing, right? So you'll be typing a lot of these, and then that will be creating your program or the software you are trying to create. That is difficult. It is going to be difficult for children and beginners to learn, isn't it? But Scratch says that, okay, saying that is going to be difficult, why don't we get this? Okay, we are going to get this, and then they'll just drag, and then they'll just put it instead of this. So as you grow, and then you go from level 1, 2, 3, maybe grade 5, 6, 7, 8, then we can switch here. So when we switch here, we can write something like this, okay, and then we'll write something like this. So we don't understand this for now, but we understand this later. So that is the essence of the Scratch programming, making things really simple, very easy, and understanding the concept. You just have to just drag and connect colorful blocks that represent different commands. So I took you through the features, right? You remember I took you through the features, right? The key features of the Scratch programming, and I told you it has visual programming, which means we can see whatever that we are doing. So you look at this. I hope you can see when we drag and we drop. You can see that we are adding it is visual. But if you look at this, we don't see anything until we are done creating the whole thing. Maybe we can add graphics to it. We can before. So this is really difficult, right? It is difficult. It's not for kids at all. Otherwise, you are going to lose interest. That is why Scratch was designed to also let you start with that. And then at the moment you understand Scratch really that well, the typing of commands for coding also becomes very easy. So I told you it is visual programming, no typing syntax required, and then you get immediate visual feedback. So like this, right? So I put this one here, but I should put this one on top. Immediate visual feedback. Let me click on this. You realize it is moving, right? It is immediate, right? So it is one time, and then we have built-in graphics editor. You also know that we had built-in graphics editor. So when I go to looks like this or costumes, right, I can just be changing certain things. I remove the head from it, and I'll take this one here. I'll remove the hand. So it is a built-in graphic editor. So let me just put it back and let me just get back. Hop on this. Okay. So I'll visit this, and then we have the sound recording. So with this, I told you can record your own voice, or you can use the sound that we have. So when I go to sound, we have sound. Because I'm using the cat. Yes, remember in class I told you that this is a sprite, that is a character, the main character, and we have it as a cat. So it is going to give cat sounds, right? See, can you hear that? That is it, right? That is what is going to happen. So that is a built-in sound, right? And also the graphics editor. So you can record yours and you can add, right? You can record your own sound, and then you can add that to it. So you can even delete this, right? So when you go here, you can upload your own sound. So assuming, let me see, I have this sound. Let me just select a sound and I'll add it to it. Let me just add this one. Okay, so let me play this. Listen. I still got joy. Can you hear that? Alright, so you can add your own sound to whatever that we are doing. Okay, so let me just get back and we get into our book. And then we also have large online community. Yes, it's true. If I should open MIT this way, scratch.mit. Okay, I think I don't really have that good of an internet here, but if you open this, you're going to see people having a lot of games, a lot of stories, creative, a lot. So yes, I should open this and I should just get in here. Is that people have a lot of games that they've created. There's a number of people, more than 500,000, right? More than. So you see, all of these things are what others are done, right? So if I should click on someone's own, it is going to open and I can even run it. So it has a large online community that you can even join. You can create your game, you can create your story, and you can share with others for them to play as well. Right, so that is just that, and then it is suitable for ages 8+, right? So that is Scratch Junior. Those who are maybe 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years, yes, you are to use the Scratch Junior. But in this school, we are using Scratch all together, right? Because I believe that we are learning progressively, so we can achieve that. So you can also find this. The same website I just opened, you may find this one there. So let me go to the next page. So you realize after that I showed you the Scratch interface. I drew it on the board in class. I labeled every part, and I told you that this particular side, okay, is the title bar. You remember? I told you this particular, I added the control menu box, which is not being seen here. I told you this is a backdrop, and I told you we also have a stage. This whole thing is a stage, right? Where the sprite or the character is standing is a stage, but behind the stage, that is the backdrop. And I told you this is a character right here, and I told you that this is the code area or the script area, and I told you this particular one single is a block, and I told you this particular, if they are combined together, if the blocks are combined together, they are what we call a script, right? And I told you we had the code tab, we had the costumes tab, and then we had the sound tab as well here. I told you we had this particular icon that looks like the world, which is languages. So we have about 70 plus languages that you can select. So assuming maybe you don't want English, you want Chinese, you can select it. So I think maybe whilst looking at the part of the Scratch, let me just use this. Yes, so you can see we have a lot of languages right here. And then file, I told you file we can use to restore or get to wherever that we were before. So look at this. That is edit. Sorry, that is edit. Right. So assuming maybe I should delete. Let me stop this particular project. Okay. So let me just delete this particular block. I delete something from it. Right. Okay. There should be this restore here. Okay. Or let me delete everything. I'm able to restore a file, but I don't have it here. I don't know why it's not showing, but that is that. And I told you the file, okay, we can use to create a new project. We can load a project. So let me try load a project. One of the midterms that you did, I will load Zael's project. So I replace this. So you can see I have what she did, and I can run it to see what this was. So you can see I use the file to load somebody's project, and then I can save what I've also done in addition to it. So let me create a new one. Yes, this is a new project. And then we have the tutorial. So in case you find anything difficult, you can just click on it. Okay, so you can learn anything you want to. Okay, you can learn getting started, making music, imagine a world, and etc. Right. And then with the search, you can search for a project right here, right? And then I told you this was the start, okay, and then this was the stop. So the green flag is the start, the red rounded is the stop. And I told you this was full screen, right? And then this one is help. Yes, the control menu box, as you can see here. And then this one divides the screen. Okay, so look at this. If I should click on this, it is going to, yes, it is making this area very small. And then if I should click again, okay, let me click this one, it brings it back. If I should click this full screen, yes, we can now see that everything is open that way. And I told you that this is show and this is hide. If I should click on this, it is going to hide the sprite. So look at this, it is hidden, it is now showing. So the size, okay, of the sprite is 100 pixels, right? So let me make it 1000 and let's see what happens. Right, it becomes that big. Okay, so the default size is 100, so it becomes as small. And then with the direction, right, it is standing. We did angles in class. Where I drew this particular x-axis, y-axis. This is negative x-axis, negative a positive x-axis. This was y, negative y, and then this was positive what y. Yes, and I told you we added some numbers. So the dimensions of the stage I told you was 480 pixels, if you remember, and then this was also 480 pixels here, which means each particular side, this particular side is 240, right? Positive 240 and negative what 240, like that. So this is negative. And then what the vertical side I told you, this was what 360. Yes, 360, and then this one was also 360. Yes, so which is, if you divide, I think we'll be getting 180 and then 180. So that is the dimension, this side right here. So with the angle, you can see that it is standing at 90 degree, right? 90 degrees is just what a straight line like that. Okay, if I have this is what a 90 degree, this is also 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree. We have 360 in circular, right? So 90 degree gives us this, it stands straight. If I should turn it or tilt it a little bit, maybe about 60 degree, it is going to turn, right? Because it is standing this way, it is going to go clockwise. We learn clockwise in class like this. So let me tilt it and let me change the direction to maybe somewhere, so you can see, yes, there is a clock which shows the angles. So I should click this, it is turning, it is turning, it is turning. Let me make it 180, 180, that is a full straight line like this. Okay, I couldn't get that. I have 180. So you see, it has been tilted, it has been tilted this way. Yes, initially 90 was this, 180 has added another 90 to it, so moving. So if I should go to 270, it is going to face down. If I should go to 360, it is going to go this side. So let's continue. I'll click on it. Let me go to 270, negative 270. Okay, negative 90. Yes, this way, and I go back again, original 90. So negative 1. Let me go to the original 90. It stands straight. So yes, I have it. So that is just the degrees, the direction, gives us the degree, okay, of the sprite. That is the rotation or its position. So we have the x-axis and then the y-axis. You remember I told you x-axis is negative x, positive x. Y-axis, we have what? Y top and then Y down, negative and positive. So if I should put it here, you can see it has changed. So if I should make here negative 120, you see that it is going to move. So let me click on this. Okay, negative 22. Let me make it maybe 200. Let me see. Yes, it moved back. I should change this to what? To positive. Let me see. Positive 200. Okay, so we have this, right? Positive y and negative y, negative x, and then positive x, right? So probably negative 200 will be somewhere here, okay? And then positive 200y somewhere here. So they are going to meet somewhere here, as we did in class, you remember. So here, the reason we have the sprite moving up in the corner. So if I should change this, let me bring it back to the middle, and let me make this maybe let me make it positive y. Let me make it positive 100. Let me make this one positive maybe 200 as well. So you will see that it should move forward and then move upwards this way. Yes, so you can see that. So this was basically what we did at the beginning of the term, okay? And then we have also the backdrops. I think this is one thing that you all have, or you come to the lab, that is what you do most of the times. Yes, so you pick your own backdrops, and I see you do that a lot. So and then you put it and then nicely this way. And then I told you this is also what the sprite. We can also select for a new sprite, right? So when I click this, we can add any of them that we want to. Yes, you all want to always change the sprite, but that is fine. Okay, and then within this week, as the last lesson, I take you through extensions. Okay, extensions are just additional functionality to whatever that we have already. Okay, there are some things that these blocks alone cannot do. Okay, so the extensions comes to add up to what they can do, and then it adds up to it. It is like just having a personal computer. Personal computer is just what the main component: system unit, monitor, mouse, and then a keyboard. So we add peripherals to give it what extra functionality, like the pen drive. We add the speakers to it, so that is the same thing extension does. So I think we use the pen tool. Remember, we added an extension to it. So this one allows us to draw, because these ones cannot draw. So extensions what gives us that particular flexibility, right? And then we also have the zoom tool. This is a zoom tool. Yeah, so we can zoom in and then we can zoom out, and we can position center. This is center. Put the code in the center, right? Okay, so you can see this. Let me put this right here. So we zoom out, right? Center, right in the center. So that is what we've done so far. So we also went through all of the blocks, which I think we'll do that later. Right, so let's get back. So we've seen all of these again in the session. Okay, and the last thing, I think we have the same thing here. So I'm gonna skip this. Right, I've explained the stage, and then the dimensions 480, 360. I've taken you through the coordinate system again in this session. Okay, and then I've explained the controls. I've explained the green flag, the red stop sign, the full screen, the small, and then the large toggles. I've explained each one of them, the backdrop as well, and then which one again? The sprite information. Yes, you find them at the sprite list right there. And then the code area, the center. I've explained the code area, that is the code editor or the script area. And I've explained there were the three main tabs, right? The code tab, okay, used for coding or for the blocks. That is where we find the blocks or the block palette. And then the costumes, okay, changing the appearance of the sprite. And the sound, okay, you know this already. And then code tab, yes, we've done this already. I'm not going to. And then the block palette, I already took you through this, and I told you that this particular whole side, okay, this particular whole side is the block palette. Okay, it contains the blocks that we use in coding or in snapping our blocks together. So that is that. And then these are the block categories. So I'm going to end here, and then we'll continue from block categories in another session. Until I come your way next time, the name is Kwame A+, and I'm out. Watch out, peace, shalom, bye bye.